Now, today my portfolio at acquisition.com last year did over $250 million in revenue. And when I started, I made the same mistakes that everyone makes. So I used to think no one can, grow my business like me. If you want it done right, you got to do it yourself. No one can do it like I can do it. Never let anyone else handle the money, or never outsource sales, never outsource marketing, never outsource anything, right? And so I had all these different people who tell me these things, and it's interesting because they were a little bit ahead of me in business. And I think, oh, they must be right. But they were just limited business owners like anyone else. And it wasn't until I broke that belief, or that system of thinking, that I was able to build real companies, ones that make money, even if I'm not involved in the money making. And so in this video, I'll show you 5 steps that will let you hit your money goals by building a business that runs without you, or rather that can create value without you being required. And so conceptually, this is the big idea. A business that requires you isn't a business. And I'm going to say that in a technical sense, anything that generates a profit with an LLC is a business. But in terms of the intention of the vast majority of people who begin a business, it's for freedom. And then what ends up happening is that you create more liabilities, more dependencies, you lose your optionality, you lose your freedom, and you now somehow you have a job you cannot quit. Tough, right? And what's interesting about this is that I want to talk about transitioning this thing from an Ironman suit, where it just enhances your ability to do, but still requires you to run, not like the newer Ironman suits, which didn't require a person. Let's not get into it. But was actually, the businesses are valueless without you. All right. And if you can get the Ironman suit to become upgraded so it can run and go fight the bad guys or make the profit without you, then it becomes something that is inherently valuable to anyone. And once something goes from valuable to you to valuable to anyone, it means it's something that other people would want to buy. When it's something that other people want to buy, it's something that is valuable and inherently has worth. And so let me give you some simple math here. Let's say you have 2 businesses, all right? One that does, I'm going to use some math. You can remove zeros if it hurts your eyeballs to think of more zeros, all right? But let's say you've got a $10 million a year business over here, top line, $10 million business over here doing top line. So 10 and 10. Okay, which business do you want? Well, you need more information, right? Of course. Now let's say that both businesses are 10 million top line, 2 million bottom line, $8 million of cost in both. Now which business do you want? You still need more information, of course. Now let's say that of this 10 top line, $2 million bottom line businesses, this one, the owner is running 80 hours a week, is like every day of the week they're working, and is required to work, different than choosing to work, as a side note, but I won't get into that for now. The second business, the owner never is there and just owns it like you would own a stock on the stock market. Now, think about which of these business owners is richer. Now, at the onset, you'd think, oh, well, they're both the same top line, both the same bottom line, but the difference is actually very dramatic, and so let me explain. So this guy, first guy, very frustrated entrepreneur, Fred, he makes $2 million a year, and then he pays his 50% taxes, and he makes $1 million left over. Then he lives his living expenses, whatever. Maybe he's got a family. Okay, he takes home $500,000 he can put away. So he's getting richer at $500,000 a year, roughly, in terms of his net worth. That's a slow way to accumulate cash. Now, don't be wrong, $500,000 is a lot of money, but I'm just saying, big picture. Now, this guy, let's call it, so we had frustrated Fred, and let's call it Wealthy William. Sounds very, fancy. So this guy has an entire team that actually runs the business day to day without him. And so he just owns it like he owns the paper stock of a company. And his business right now trades at 6 times profit, meaning somebody would be willing to come in and write him a check for 6 times $2 million, which is $12 million. And so of these 2 guys, this guy adds $500,000 to his net worth every year. This guy has a business that is worth $12 million. This guy's way richer. But check this out. Now, let's say that both of these guys figure out a way to make the business make an extra $500,000 a year in profit. So they go from 2 million to 2.5, 2 million to 2.5 in profit. That's what happens here. Now, here's where it gets extra sexy. This guy, after he makes his extra $500,000, let's say that he pays his 50% taxes, and that $250,000 after taxes goes straight to him. So he goes from taking home $500 to $250. He doesn't change his living styles. All right, so he all the extra money he saves. So he starts making $750,000 in savings per year. Okay, after taxes, neat. This guy, the $500,000 that comes in after taxes, he gets a 6x multiple on. And so he actually gets another $3 million added to his net worth. So his $12 million becomes $15 million. And this is the game of wealth. This is how you get wealthy. It's very, very inefficient to become wealthy off of regular income because it's taxed to oblivion.